Hello, adventurers. Today I just wanted to make a quick video in regards to patch 1.0.2d. This is in regards to some changes to the Paragon system, some just basic overall nerfs there, as well as a few minor class changes that I wanted to make you guys aware of. So let's dive in. So Blizzard did put out a notice here of the explanations of the 3 points on why they are making these class changes slash nerfs to the Paragon system. Ultimately, they feel that power progression is a little bit ahead of curve or worried about progression in the late game and the power curve that they are seeing. So they're trying to pull that curve down a little bit from what it looks like. In regards to the first point, they have seen some class abilities that are too synergistic, and the basic combination is a little too much, resulting in too much survival or survivability or damage. So they're going to be bringing that down a bit. Additionally, they saw some skills that are falling behind, so they wanted to buff those skills and allow them to be played on other classes. Additionally, and this is the big one, they felt that the Paragon system is currently providing too much power, so there's going to be a blanket reduction here. So for the glyph nerf, it's going to be an all-around scaling reduction of 34%. So all glyphs have been reduced by 34%, except for a few. Critical strike damage has actually been reduced by 66%. Vulnerability glyphs have been reduced by 66%. Bonus to rare nodes has been reduced by 50%. Bonus to magic nodes has been reduced by 40%, as well as fire, cold fire, lightning, non-physical, and physical nodes have been reduced by 62%. So again, this is a very large blanket nerf to the whole glyph system to try to bring down player power. Again, I think this is just their concern that the power curve may be a little too high, and they don't want to see players getting too out of control in the late game. As for legendary aspects, the Bold Chieftains aspect has its cooldown reduction per nearby enemy reduced. So instead of 2.7 or 5.4 seconds reduction per enemy, it is now only 1 to 1.9 seconds. So a significant nerf there in regards to the cooldown reduction provided per enemy. Additionally, the maximum cooldown reduction is now, instead of 12, is 6 seconds. Aspects of the Dire Whirlwind, increased critical strike chance per second has been reduced from 5%, 10% to 3.8. So again, seeing another nerf there for the critical strike damage for Whirlwind. Maximum critical strike chance has been reduced from 20 to 40, down almost half, over halved on the low end, and almost halved at the high end of 9 to 24. So a significant crit nerf to Whirlwind. In regards to item changes, Gore's Devastation Grip, explosion damage gained from Whirlwind reduced from 50 to 70% down to 16 to 26. So massive nerf to Gore's Devastating Grips. Again, that is a massive nerf there. Almost triple reduction in the damage you see there. Damage against wreckable objects no longer increases explosion damage. That is hilarious. And explosion damage is only increased the first 100 hits of Whirlwind. Moving on to Druid, saw some skill changes here, but we also saw a buff within Druid, which makes me excited. Pulverize lucky hit chance has been reduced by 33 to 25%. Okay. We saw an 8% increase to Lightning Storm. Grizzly Rage, maximum extended duration from kills reduced from 10 to 5 seconds. So again, unfortunate, Grizzly Rage has been reduced, kind of reeling that ultimate back in. I know a lot of people are playing that with Earthen Might. Class specializations, Obsidian Slam, kills require for bonus has been increased doubled from 10 to 20. Calm Before the Storm, lucky hit chance reduced from 15 to 10. Passive changes for the Druid, Electric Shock, damage bonus increased from 5, 10, 15 to 6, 12, 18. Great. Legendary aspects changes, Shockwave aspect, damage reduced from 9 to 130%. to 60 to 100. So you got a 30% nerf on the top end of shockwave aspect. Crash Stone aspect, crit strike damage reduced from 40 to 50 to 30 to 40. Not bad. Lightning Dance, flat damage increased from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. Necromancer also saw some skill changes. Bloodlance damage has actually been buffed significantly, almost 20%. Army of the Dead's damage has been increased by 15% and the cooldown reduced by 30 seconds, which for this one I especially think is huge. My wife is playing a minion build, and that is definitely a warranted buff. Blood Wave damage increased from 90 to 120, so a 30% buff to Blood Wave, which is excellent. For the passive changes for Necromancer, we have Shadow Blight. The damage increased from 20 to 22%, so a 2% buff to Shadow Blight. Now, Shadow Blight does involve all shadow damage over time skills, so that would be a really good one. At least you get a nice 2% buff overall. Grim Harvest essence is reduced from 369 to 246. All right, a little less generation, but I don't think it'll kill anything or hurt anything too much. Serration, critical strike chance reduced. Again, critical strike chance really being on the chopping block here from a high end of 1.5% down to 0.9%. So a little bit of a significant nerf there. Death's Defense, maximum minion life lost in a single hit, reduced from 75 60 to 45 to 60 45 30. Okay, disappointing, but that's okay. That's not a huge. We're still using that on the wife's build, and it seems to be significant, at least in making sure that the minions don't get one shot by any hard-hitting mechanics. Another buff here, Ray Skeleton. Skeleton Warrior's attack damage has been increased by 10%, along with also the Golem attack damage being increased by 10%. That is much warranted as well, and happy to see. Blood Golem's drain life damage has been doubled from 40 to 90, which is great, as well as the Blood Golem's life drain has been increased from 4 to 5. I think this is to combat the Bone Golem. Honestly, Bone Golem is just too good right now, especially with the weakness that I see with minions. Having the Bone Golem taunt and keep those minions alive, Golem doesn't seem to have an issue living right now. So definitely buffing up these other golem types is going to be needed because Bone Golem right now, in my opinion, is very far ahead of these other two. Talking about that, Iron Golem Slam increased from 25% to 175%. That makes sense. I don't know of anyone running Iron Golem, so that is an interesting buff. So at least it got a nice little bit of a hard hitting. The Shockwave was also increased by 10%. That is its active. For Paragon board changes, interesting. So Hulking Monstrosity, Golem life and damage bonus increased by 10%. All right, and then Cult Leader damage bonus increased by 5%. Cool. Going on to Rogue, skill changes here. Twisted Blade, Advanced Twisted Blade reduced per enemy hit from 0.25 to 1 second, or 0.1 second. Wow. Okay, so a half a nerf in the cooldown reduction that provides. Advanced Twisting Blades maximum cooldown reduced from 3 to 2 seconds. Okay, so sweeping cooldown reduction nerf to Twisted Blades. Rapid Fire damage increased from 24 to 30%. That is awesome. So a 6% buff to Rapid Fire. Dark Shroud damage reduction per shadow gained from skill ranks reduced from 0.8 to 0.4%. Okay, so it's a half a reduction there. Dash, enhanced dash critical strike damage bonus nerfed by 5%. Caltrops damage increased by 10%. Passives, concussive, critical strike chance reduced. Again, critical strike getting hit in every class now. This is going to be a 3% on the top end nerf to your critical strike chance. Sorcerer, skill changes, Arc Lash, lucky hit chance reduced by half, over half. That is huge. Glinting, Arc Lash, cooldown reduction again. Really attacking that cooldown reduction and just crit, hit, and overpower chance. They're really reducing everything here. Shimmering teleport damage reduced duration. Damage reduction reduced by almost half. Aspect of control bonus damage reduction reduced by 5% overall. Okay. So, just real quick, miscellaneous changes as well. Druid companions and necrotic minions. Damage over time taken per second instance reduced from 2% to 1% of maximum life. So again, trying to give a little bit of minion life there. I don't think that's going to save them, especially for my wife's minion build. I don't think their minions aren't dying of damage over time. The minions are dying from melee hits from normal mob. We'll have a guide out for her necro build as well as for my druid build, hopefully by the end of this week. So you guys make sure to check those out if you are interested. For the Paragon board, we had briefly talked about this, but the attack speed nodes have been reduced by 50%, as well as the following buffs that we went over. Again, blanket 34%, critical strike damage getting hit the hardest with 66%, as well as vulnerability at 66% reduction to the stats that the Paragon board gives. Along with that, the bonuses from your glyphs that you drop in. So each page you'll drop a glyph. That glyph will give a buff to the nodes. The magic and rare nodes have been reduced by 40% and 50% respectively. Additionally, you have the bonus to your cold, fire, lightning, and non-physical and physical nodes. This reduction from your glyphs has been hit with a 62% nerf. So overall, dropping your glyph on that page now, that glyph bonus is going to be significantly lower no matter what it is. Outside of that, a couple bug fixes here, as well as some monster changes to PvP for treasure goblins. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments below. Do you think that this glyph nerf is warranted? I mean, I don't know where it came from. I think at the time that this patch was released, there was maybe a handful of 100s, if that, in softcore and none in hardcore. So they definitely hadn't dived into this. So I'm curious where these nerfs came from. But ultimately, I mean, let's see how they work. But yeah, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to check out our class guides that'll be coming out, as well as we're working on a new kind of format where my wife and I are talking about our class together. So definitely look forward to that video as well. Don't forget, streaming weekdays 11 to 4. Haven't ironed out the schedule yet, but it'll probably be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But just stay tuned on that for future videos. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.